What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover Original Show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What is going on, my people? Welcome back to the Vover Tuesday NBA show. Count it. I'm your host, Justine Brown, and I think the real question is, what isn't going on? NBA free agency is off with a bang following the draft. We got signing trades. We've got a lot of activity happening, and today I'm going to give you a few of my favorite free agency signings and activity thus far. And I think I want to start with today's big news of DeMar DeRozan headed to the Bulls for a 3-year, $85 million deal. Did not see that one coming, but I have to say the Bulls have made some moves and I think are a team you can talk about being in the playoffs now. I think some were surprising, but now you have Lonzo Ball, another big free agency signing. Lonzo Ball is now a Chicago Bull, and he joins Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White. You know, this is a young team. This is a young core. I think Zach LaVine is absolutely a star who hasn't had a lot of pieces around him, hasn't maybe seen the shine he deserves. I think Vucevic is highly underrated. I'm not saying they're coming in, you know, competing for a championship, but I think they're competing for a 6 seed, a 7 seed, an 8 seed. You know, I think the Bulls can be in the conversation now, so I think that's a huge move for them. So DeMar DeRozan, not to the Lakers, DeMar DeRozan to the Chicago Bulls. With that said, DeMar DeRozan's once counterpart, Kyle Lowry, has signed a deal with the Miami Heat, joining Jimmy Butler down in Miami. The Heat were able to sign Lowry, retain Duncan Robinson, and brought in PJ Tucker, who we all know, a guy who averaged 2.6 points per game for the Bucks, but he's a worker, he's a locker room guy. So I think they went and got a championship point guard who knows how to win, knows how to lead, true point guard. I think that combined with veteran leadership makes Kyle Lowry in Miami one of the best free agency signings thus far. Of course, we can't go without talking about the Lakers, who just today, signed Carmelo Anthony to the roster. So now we got Melo. We have newly acquired Russell Westbrook. We have Anthony Davis. We have Dwight Howard. I mean, how many All-Stars does this roster have on it? They also just re-signed Taylor Horton-Tucker and signed Kendrick Nunn. And I like the Melo addition. I think they let a lot of shooters go. I think they've been short shooters in the past. I think we saw Melo go to Portland and say, what do y'all need me to do and when do you need me? And there were many times when Portland needed a bucket. Melo stepped up like the veteran that he was and did what he needed to do to get it done. And so I think this is a great piece for LA. I think Melo could be an interesting curtain call together in Los Angeles. Obviously, we see somebody like Russ, we see somebody like Melo who have as much of a chance at a ring as anybody, and I think that makes things interesting. Of course, I'd love to see Melo win a ring. I would have loved to see Melo back in New York City. As far as Russell goes, obviously that was a sign and trade, but I think Russell being on a team where he's not pulling them to the playoffs, but instead gets to show what he can do with playoff caliber players, which he hasn't had a ton of since he was with KD in OKC and James Harden. I think this is an interesting roster. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say they're the favorite yet again. And the team I want to talk about next, who I think is going to have something to say about that, is, of course, the Brooklyn Nets, who were able to re-sign Blake Griffin. They lost Jeff Green. But today they made a veteran signing that I think is a sleeper. I think he's a good piece for almost any team. And that is Patty Mills, who signed for $12 million to the Nets. He, is a veteran, a member of the Spurs championship team. He's a 41.3% catch and shoot three-point shooter. He does the little things. He's a great addition to that roster with KD and Kyrie and James. And I think that's going to be a sleeper free agency pick. I think the Lakers had their eye on them, but the Nets and the Lakers are in a free agency signing battle right now, and the Nets won that one. Those are just a few of my free agency highlights, a few of my favorite signings thus far. Obviously, things are going to keep moving. We're going to see what happens from here. But that's what we have for today. This has been your Vover Tuesday NBA show. Count it. I'm your host, Justine Brown. And chime in on the Vover app and let us know what you think about these signings.